There we go. Hey, sports fans, PBnZ Sports Chaos. Whew, what a week, what a week, what a week. The biggest shock ever in sports. Urban Meyer got fired and mired in shame, apparently. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Who saw that coming, right? Huh. But the other thing is COVID, man. It's wreaking havoc right now in all sports, NBA, NHL, college, and now NFL. We got 3 games postponed and pushed out, right?
Yeah, one of them was supposed to be kicking off
Today.
in about 4 hours here, and that one's not going to happen now until Monday, and then the other 2 tomorrow move to Tuesday. So
yeah, Las Vegas, Cleveland on Monday, right? Seattle, Los Angeles Rams are on Tuesday, as well as now Washington and Philly, right?
Yep.
And by the way, Cleveland's in big trouble. I mean, so is Washington. Both their quarterbacks, first string and second string, are in the COVID protocol, right? They may not be able to play.
Yeah, they could come out of it by then, though, by Tuesday.
Unbelievable.
Well, for Cleveland, it's got to be Monday, right? Because
yeah, we'll see. You know, right now that changes the odds, and we're going to pick that game. I already made my decision based on the fact that I don't think they're going to be available. So, hey, it's bowl as well. I got a bowl game on right now. Looks like Appalachian State is losing in the Boca Raton, not too far from you, right?
Yeah, they play in FAU Stadium. It's less than half an hour from here, maybe 20 minutes.
Speaking of bowls, one guy not playing in a bowl, college football Heisman finalist Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh has opted out to get ready for the draft. It's been going on for a couple of years now. I wanted to say, if I'm a player on the Pittsburgh's team and my star quarterback, I can live with a positional player saying I'm going to sit out. My star quarterback sits out, and now I have no chance to win. I'm going to punch him in the face. I really am just going to punch him in the face. That's what I said. Anyway, hey, another shocker. The number 2 recruit in the country. He was going to Florida State. His name is Travis Hunter. I believe he's from Florida as well. He's now going to go play for a former Florida State alumni, Mr. Primetime Deion Sanders at Jackson State. He's the highest recruit ever to play for, I think, not only an HBCU, but an FCS school as well, which is one double A. That's unbelievable. What do you think of that?
Yeah, obviously, Deion certainly put a good deal in front of him for him to move over from a, D1 school like Florida State that's going to, play a good schedule and probably get more, more pro scouts are probably looking at schools that versus Jackson State. But that being said, Jackson State's starting to get on the map. So I would be surprised if we see some people getting drafted out of there in the coming years. Don't
forget, Walter Payton went to Jackson State. Hey, by the way, another guy's not going to be playing for a long time. Apparently, Zion Williamson he had to get a shot. He's now going to be another 4 to 6 weeks before they even evaluate him. Is he done with the NBA? Is he really maybe all over?
Yeah, it's a disappointment, right? That kid in college was just ridiculous, and
he is. He's box office, as Stephen A. likes to say.
Yeah, people would say he could have been the next LeBron James, and he hasn't done anything really. So I don't know if he's done, but I don't think he's going to be the spectacle that people thought he was going to be.
He may have to drop 30 or 40 pounds to stay in the NBA, unfortunately. And he uses his size well. So speaking of primetime shows, Thursday Night Football, as you just said, we were talking offline, you watch it with your boy Josh, Casey Josh, walk-off win in overtime, KC, right?
Yeah.
But the story of that game was the subplot, which was Brendan Staley, the Chargers coach. 5 times he went for it on 4th down. 3 times he didn't get it, including twice within the 5-yard line of the goal. One of them at the end of the half, which would have been probably the clinching points of the game, right? At the end of the day.
And one they turned it over too, inside the 5. So
DYK, apparently he's Mr. Stats. So why didn't he ever look at this stats? Team that has gone for 4th down plays and missed 3 or more in a game are 0-48 prior to that. Now they're 0-49. There you go. They say he was playing the analytics, but the analytics say if you go for it more than 3 times and don't get it, you're going to lose the game. So I guess real quick, this Urban Meyer thing, the backlash is unbelievable. I mean, is it not?
Yeah, he's just not a good dude. I mean, I'm putting some of the blame here on Shad too, because you've got to have a better judge of character when you're bringing in someone in your organization to lead the franchise. And I don't care about all the other stuff. If you're the leader of that franchise, it's on you. And if you're not hiring good leaders, it's also on that person as well. So I'm blaming Shaw just as much for not being able to identify talent and put the right person in the right position, especially when you're drafting Trevor Lawrence, who's supposed to be the next best thing coming out of college, and you put him in a situation where he's only going to fail.
So there you go, fans. PB set it up. This week's Kyrie Award winner is Shad Khan.
All right.
Right? I mean, like, total bozo to hire this guy in the first place. And then suppose he's been sitting on the decision for multiple weeks now. You should have just went what you got in the first place. As one analyst said, how did he get to become a billionaire? Unbelievable, right? Hey, the Cards, they lost to the Rams Monday night. That was a pretty good game as well. But Morris, they lost D-Hop for the regular season, at least anyways. Are they falling to earth at this point in time, do you think, PB?
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing last year too. Down the stretch, they really just lost themselves right out of the playoffs, and it looks like they might be doing it again this year. So I shouldn't say losing themselves out of the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs, but they definitely could not win that division potentially.
So speaking of division, let's talk about that. Give me right now with 4 weeks to go, who do you see winning all the divisions? Start from the AFC East.
AFC East, Patriots. Obviously, they're up 2 games on the Bills, and they got one more game to play, but they finished with Jacksonville and Miami, so they should be okay. The North, it's for me right now, I think the best talent on the field is the Cincinnati Bengals. They all play each other here down the stretch, which could really, it's so hard to pick this one. It really is. If Cincinnati at home can do to Baltimore what they did to them in Baltimore earlier in the year and just destroy them, I think 41-17 was the final in that game. If they do that to Baltimore, I think that game's next week at home against the Ravens, this team will win the division. If they somehow blow that game up and don't win it and end up splitting with the Ravens, I may have to go with the Ravens, but I like my stick pick of saying Ravens are going to go from first seed to out of the playoffs. I'm going to ride that all the way through the rest of the year. So I'm going to take the Bengals in the North. The South, the Colts, they're 2 games back. There's just too much there to catch. They've already lost twice to Tennessee. So they would actually have to finish a game higher than them. So as much as I think Indy's playing well right now, they can't catch Tennessee. So Tennessee will win there. And same thing, the Chiefs are playing too good right now. There's no other team in that division to me that's worth anything. So definitely KC. Over in the NFC.
Before we head to the NFC, let me give you my AFCs. I get the Pats as well. I think they hold on, although they may lose that game to Buffalo on the return. Baltimore holds on. I think at the end of the day, that division is going to beat each other up. And by the way, tomorrow, Kansas City has no gimme playing Denver. So I don't think Cincinnati overcomes them. Baltimore hangs on by the skin of their teeth. Tennessee, same thing. I'm with you. Too much distance from Indianapolis. And KC is rolling. They are rolling. So I got KC as well.
Okay, so it's just different on Cincinnati and Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah, what do you got in the NFC?
NFC, Cowboys, I mean, just no question there. They're up 3 games. That's done by beating Washington last week. They cemented that. Same thing, Green Bay. I mean, they're way up. Tampa, way up. So no question with those 2 teams. I think
I'm with you on all 3 of those because it's not even close.
It's not even close.
This is the interesting one. What do you got in the West?
I think there's an opportunity here for the Rams. I mean, the Colts, the Cardinals still have to play the Colts, and they have to play at the Cowboys. So there's a couple of games they could lose there. And I think the Rams, they could run the table here. Even if they lose one, they still could catch them. I think the big thing is going to be that final game, the Cardinals and Seahawks, a divisional game, because they're going to have, if they catch them with that tie, the tiebreaker right now is the division record. They only have 1 loss in the division, while the Rams have 2 losses in the division. They both have the same conference record. So if they lose that division, because the Dallas game won't be a division game, the Colts game won't be a division game. So if they lose that Seattle game to finish the year, even though it's in Arizona, that could cause them to not win that division. It's going to come down to that game. And I think Seattle might be hungry to spoil it for the Cardinals. So I'm going to take the Rams. It's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm with you as well. And by the way, when we did our divisional previews way back, we thought the Rams had the best team, but we were worried about their schedule. And, it's playing to form at this point in time, but we still thought they would win that division. And sure enough, it looks like they're going to win that division.
Yeah.
I'm with. All right, so let's talk. Who goes to the conference finals in the AFC, first of all?
I mean, all the writing on the wall right now to me says it's going to be a KC New England AFC Championship. I mean, I mean, can Buffalo get hot as a wild card team? Absolutely. I don't think Tennessee can get there. Indy could get hot down the stretch here and surprise a few people. I wouldn't be surprised if Indy gets in there or Buffalo gets in there. But right now, I gotta go Pats Chiefs.
I'm with you. And by the way, if it's at Foxborough, Kansas City with Mahomes has never, ever played a road playoff game other than the Super Bowl. And the one Super Bowl they played on the road was really at the home of Tampa Bay, and they lost. Right? So I got them as well, KC and the Pats. All right, what do you got out in the NFC, which is probably the tougher conference at this point in time?
Yeah.
But I think there's two teams standing out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not bet against Tom Brady and the Bucs to get hot at the right time and go into the playoffs and make some headway, there. So I'm going to take Tampa as one of the representation teams. The other one, I would love to. I think if the Bucs and Rams end up paying to get to that championship game, that will be an epic game. So, and I think that's what will happen. It'll probably be Packers and Rams playing to get to that game with Tampa Bay already there. And that will be, oh man, because it'll probably be in Green Bay, I'm going to take Green Bay. So I'm going to have Green Bay and Tampa Bay in those finals in the NFC.
I'm with you as well. And I got a funny, if they run the table, Green Bay hosts that game again.
Right. Which I don't.
Division record.
Brady's not going to care about that.
No, he didn't last year, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's do some picks here. Pick six. Last week, all of us were 5-1. Hey, by the way, have you noticed we've been doing this segment? We've been calling it the Pick Six for 3 years now. How many of these other talk shows, ESPN, et cetera, are now having this thing called Pick Six? They're following us. I know they are, don't you? All right. Las Vegas, Cleveland. The game has been moved to Monday. I'm still going to stick with my pick. I got Las Vegas. What do you think?
Man, you take Vegas every week and you lose every week with that. I'm surprised you're not switching.
I think the COVID thing's just too big of a deal. Even if they have some guys come back, I think it's still going to be an impact on the roster.
Yeah, well, they were decimated with COVID in a game earlier this year, and they managed to figure out a way to win that game. I think they can do it here too. Vegas is just a bad football team right now. And if Cleveland still has their running backs and can run the football, control the clock, I got to go with Cleveland in this game. So, and especially that they postponed it 2 days, that's going to help some of those people get back. So I got Cleveland.
We'll see. All right. G Money has Vegas as well. All right. New England and Indy playing tonight in Indianapolis. What do you think?
Pats. Until they lose a game, their game planning right now is ridiculous. They always do the one thing better than anybody else in the NFL, which is take away your strength. We know the strength of the Indianapolis Colts is Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Taylor, even if he does get 100 yards rushing, they're not going to be important yards. When they need to bear down, they're going to bear down and stop it when that's that 3rd and 3 type play. So he still might run for 100, 125 yards, but I don't think he's going to make the plays to win the game because Belichick will shut that down. So I'm going to take the Pats.
I'm with you. I'm going to ride the Pats as well until they lose. So let's stick with them. I know G Money likes Indianapolis, and it's probably a smart bet, but I'm sticking with New England like you. All right. Tennessee goes to Pittsburgh. 2 weeks ago, I would have said it was a no-brainer game for Tennessee. I'm not so sure right now. What do you think?
Yeah, but I'm still staying with Tennessee. I mean, they could risk dropping that division if they start losing games here down the stretch and Indy starts winning games. So they got to go out and fight. And Pittsburgh, to me, is just they're not good right now. They're just not a good team. I would say this. So G Money likes Pittsburgh. I happen to like Pittsburgh as well. And I think it all rests on whether or not Ben can play. Big Ben plays well because the team, believe it or not, is good. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think they lead the league in sacks. They've got great skill players. Their offensive line does stink. That's the only. If they had a better offensive line, Pittsburgh would be in the mix right now for top rec in the league, I think. But their offensive line's horrendous. So, but your offense run is built through your offensive line. So, because your run game, your pass game, everything is hinging on a good O line. So, I
mean, they lost Juju Schuster, and they still have pretty good receivers in Deion Johnson, James Washington, and my boy Chase Claypool. But it's up to Big Ben if he can stay out of harm's way and make some throws. They can win. So I'm going to ride Pittsburgh on this one.
Oh, I got Tennessee.
All right. Cincy goes to Denver. I know you like Cincy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Denver can Denver's one of those teams, though. They can be, I mean, obviously they went on the road, they beat the Cowboys, they win some games that you're like, how are they going to win these games? And they end up pulling it off. So,
By the way, they're the Vegas favorite in this game.
and right. So good point there. But that being said, I still think Cincy is the more talented, better football team. It'll be tough on the road, but Cincy comes away with the win.
I'm going to take Denver on this one. I think the mile high factor is still an impact playing there. If you haven't played, none of these Cleveland guys have ever played in Denver. So we'll see what happens. I get Denver. So doesn't G Money. All right. Green Bay goes to Baltimore. Lamar is probably going to be out of this game. Hopefully he's out of this game for his own good. The Raiders can afford to lose this game, quite frankly. And I would put in the backup Huntley. What do you think?
Yeah, Ravens are not going to win this game.
No,
Even
Green
with Lamar,
Bay,
they wouldn't win. Green Bay is just the hottest team in the league right now. Their defense is playing well. Aaron Rodgers leading that team. Green Bay.
I would just say this. If Green Bay was to lose this game, I know it's in Baltimore, and you can always say, well, the home team should win. It could be the biggest upset of the weekend, given where the Baltimore Ravens are with injuries and their quarterback out. So,
yeah.
All right. Seattle at the Rams. We just talked about this game, and Seattle is starting to Russ is starting to cook again, right?
Yeah, he is a little bit. But still, I think the Rams are hot right now, and it's in LA. So I'm going to take the Rams. Yeah,
I am too. I got to take them. I know G Money happens to think Seattle pulls an upset. We'll see. I don't see it happening at all. All right. So that's our pick 6. We're going to do a little college pick in here. Some bowl games happening. I only put the bowl games that had pretty tight spreads for the most part to keep it interesting. Other than the first game, the Independence Bowl, UAB goes to University of Alabama, Birmingham goes to BYU, or plays BYU in the Independence Bowl down in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. So BYU is a 7-point favorite. I'm going the underdog here, UAB.
I'll stick with BYU and lay the 7.
G Money is as well. All right. The New Orleans Bowl, also down in Louisiana. Marshall plays University of Louisiana Monroe, who's a 5-point favorite. What do you think?
I'll take Louisiana and lay the 5 there too.
Yeah, me too. All right. Frisco Bowl, San Diego plays University of Texas San Antonio. That's a 2.5-point spread. University of Texas San Antonio is the favorite. San Diego is ranked, although they lost their conference championship game. What do you think?
I'm getting points with San Diego. I'll take San Diego.
2.5. Yeah. Yes, correct. I'm going UTSA. They're a pretty good team. I know they lost one game. It was kind of an upset when they lost, but they have a pretty good team. I did see them a couple times this year. All right. Utah State plays in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl against Oregon State. Oregon State's a 7. Now it's up to 7.5 points. What do you think? By the way, Utah State is the team that beat San Diego State in that conference championship. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Utah State. If you give me 7.5 against Oregon State, I'll take Utah State.
I am as well. By the way, G Money also had San Diego in the other game and Utah in this game. I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going Utah in this one. All right. The Boise, Idaho Potato Bowl, I forget what it's called. They play on the blue field out there in Idaho and Boise. Kent State plays Wyoming. Wyoming's the favorite by 3 points. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll take Wyoming, lay the 3.
I got to go with Wyoming as well. They've played on that field. I mean, I think they're in the same conference as Boise State, so it's not going to surprise them. That blue field, I got to tell you, man, you show up playing on blue field, it's a little freaky at first. G Money likes Kent State. I don't know what he thinks about that, but okay. All right. This one I got to pick because I happen to like the armed services. The Armed Forces Bowl has Missouri, who lost to BC this year, so that's enough said about them. They play Army, who did lose, as both of you and I picked last week, Navy to win that game. I think we both said not only would they cover the spread, but Navy would win the game, which they did. Army's 3.5-point favorite. What do you think?
I'll take the points. I'll take the 3.5 points with Missouri.
Ooh, you will, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I think Army, that if you've not played against that triple option offense, it's tough. I get Army winning that game.
All right.
All right, man. Nice. All right, so you're about to go off and watch little Dolphins Jets.
Are we doing Western Kentucky App State game?
I took it out. The spread was too big.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I want to keep it to a pick 6. This is 6 games.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah, I might be heading off to the the Jets-Dolphins game tomorrow to see if the Dolphins can win their what would be 6th game in a row, which, hey, watch out. They win this week. They're back to 500. They could maybe sneak into the playoffs. Their defense is playing really, really good right now. And Tua, he's managing games. He's completing a lot of passes. And he's not making mistakes. So,
by the way, Rob Ninkovich said yesterday, I think it was on Get Up, that last game of the year down in Miami with the Pats coming in from the cold to the 80-degree humidity, he said it's tougher than you think to go to that heat at that time of year. He goes, don't be surprised to see an upset. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. We got a few weeks to talk about that one. But all right, there you go, fans. PBnZ Sports Chaos. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, PB.
it's easy.